screw someone reading me something. I can just read it on my own. So I started doing that, and on all my free time, staying up as late as I can, I would just start trying to take in information. A lot of it I did it through YouTube. I just watched YouTube videos. I watched YouTube seminars, and I didn't even do a lot of reading. I just did a lot of listening. I just listened to the audio that's out there, the audio information that's out there about all of this stuff. And half the time I wasn't even watching videos. I was in my car listening to the videos, just listening to the audio of it. And through that, I was able to pick up stuff and start questioning things. And because I was like, well, I got to start with the earth, And we all gotta figure out. Basically, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna start as a newborn baby. Everything's new. Okay, this is real. I got this. I got that this is real and that this is solid. And from there, I basically just restarted everything. I took everything that I've ever been taught and I threw it out the window. And I was just like, okay, reteach myself physics, reteach myself everything about my reality, and do it through myself. Do it through my own inner discernment. Don't do it through a teacher. Don't let someone tell you what's what. Take in all of the facts that you can find that are presented to you and then make your own decision. And, I started researching the flat earth, and I started to try to find curvature, and I figured it'd be easy. I figured there'd be tons of stuff out there to very easily prove that we live on that we live on a globe, or that we lived on a flat earth. And when I started to research it, I found so much information of people out there saying, look, I did it. I tried to find curvature and I couldn't. Here's what I did. And, there's tons and tons of video out there. And, I took all this and I just thought about it. And, you think about it and you start to answer your own questions. You start to answer your own questions. Why do they do this deception? What do they gain out of this deception? I have a billion answers for that now. One, they steal our money from us. NASA gets tons of taxpayer dollars every year, and they feed us lies and CGI images. So if you're not upset about that, you should be, because they just stole a ton of money and they gave you a cartoon, when instead they told you this is reality. So they lied to you and they indoctrinated you. You do more research and you realize that the education system was built upon the foundation set forth by the Rockefeller family, and you realize that our entire education system is designed to dumb us down and to teach us useless babble and information that we cannot use. For example, you were told that the earth is a globe by someone who never actually had the time to prove it to you. You were told that the earth is spinning, but you were never actually proven it. And you believe it so verdantly, with so much passion, because everyone around you believes it too. All you have to do is just look at crepuscular sun rays. The sun rays prove that the earth is flat, and that the sun is close. It's very obvious. And even furthermore, you can look at curvature. Curvature doesn't exist. It cannot be found. It cannot be observed. That boat going over the edge, quotations, edge of the horizon, is due to perspective, the same thing that allows those street lights to converge into a single point to your horizon when you're looking down, or how when you're looking down at railroad tracks, those railroads converge into a single point, even though you know that they will never converge into a single point. They visually do. That's perspective. That's converging lines. And that's what's really happening. The boat's going out of your perspective. But if you were to take binoculars or telescope, you would easily be able to bring that boat back into view. And I've done it. I've done it on Lake Erie, and I've tested it. I've tested curvature myself a couple times, and I can't find it. I can't observe it over Lake Erie. And all of the video that I've found too, is more than enough. That you really don't even have to do your own work. Tons of people have already done it. Tons of people have already made great videos about sun rays, and tons of people have made great videos about how gravity is a lie. So really the information is just out there, and you can find out for yourself that, the earth is flat and not a ball spinning through space. It's a fixed plane with a dome above it, and this plane is Mother Earth, and she's alive, And everything in our reality is alive. You know, the air around us is filled with elemental spirits that are alive. And what I mean by that is every time we have a thought, the sine waves that come off of our head, they create these elementals and they go out and they align our future for us. But, so, alright, back to the transgender thing. So, transgenderism, it's a pretty terrible little thing because it's really destroying a lot of aspects of the society that we live in. You know, for example, there are women that just find themselves distraught because they are looking at a body shape that is something that they will never be able to achieve, but it's being passed to them as female. They're being told that this body shape is female, that this is what female looks like, you know, and it's a transgender person. It's a man standing there or sitting there, and he looks so much like a woman that he's got everyone deceived that he's a woman and that he deserves to be treated like a woman and he deserves to be acknowledged as a woman. But what does that even mean? You know, I realize now that goddess worship is key. What do I mean by that? It means don't argue with your mom, don't argue with your wife, don't argue with women as much as possible. And that may seem like a cop-out, but it's not. It's actually, it makes a lot of sense, because women, you know, they're different than men. They're very different than men. They operate out of a totally different kind of category for what's important and what's not important. And we need that. You know, men need the grounding aspect of females in order to survive happily. You know, I need that feminine energy in my life. I need nurturing energy in my life. I need that kind of humor that only women can have in my life. I need that kind of uplifting, beautiful energy in my life as a man. I do. And I thought that I could get that energy, that I could cultivate those virtues by becoming a woman myself. But, you know, I know that that's impossible now. And I realized that I wasn't cultivating feminine virtues, that I wasn't succeeding in any way, shape, or form in getting that feminine energy into my life. And I tried for years. I tried with everything in me to be a passable transgender woman. And even when I was, I still realized that I wasn't getting the feminine energy from the females around me. I wasn't giving feminine energy to the females around me. I wasn't giving feminine energy to the men around me. I wasn't doing anything feminine. I was deceiving everyone around me. But I was still that male energy. I was still that masculine energy. I was just good at turning all of that off and pretending to be something else. And now I know how to use, you know, all of this energy that's inside of me to get the same things done. You know, now I've taken the time to meditate and figure out the right order of operations for how to, you know, get what I need and get what I want done. And, you know, all I want and all I need is unconditional love. And that's what everyone else needs, is just unconditional love and gratitude and appreciation and worship for each other. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get back to that now and just try to do everything that I can to operate out of unconditional love for each other and selfless acts of kindness. You know, it's easy to say, it's easy to hear, it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to not be taken advantage of by other people around you and still do selfless things. It's really hard to know what's selfless and what's not selfless sometimes. Because, like, you know, if you have any expectation of getting anything in return for what you're doing, it's not selfless. So, like, that was really hard. Like, I had to just realize that, like, if I do something for someone, I could not have any expectations of anything in return. And those low expectations are actually great, because when someone does do something for you, you're going to be really surprised by it and it's going to make you happy. And you know, so. But I hope this is helpful and useful. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna sign off for a little bit. Love and wholeness. Good night.